Hey guys, I am back with another video today. Today I took a shower and my AquaGuard Anchor Dry, whatever I was using, did not stick correctly and water got into it, and you don't want to get this wet. So I am going to change the dressing. That is going to be the tape that's all around. I have to be super careful because accidents happen. Don't want to violate any of YouTube's violations. This is where they went in. It is healing. Gonna have a gnarly scar, I'm sure. But as soon as it's finished healing, I'm gonna start putting vitamin E oil on there. Okay, so we're gonna start with our pack. Like I said, I keep everything in baggies separated, so I can just grab a baggie. I have a dressing change kit. I currently am using IV 3000. That is the clear tape that you see here. I've got sterile gloves. And this is called the Bio Patch. This is this little thing right here. It has chloroprep or chlorhexidine in it to keep my site from getting an infection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep everything and get it open. I'm going to start with my dressing kit. Now this right here, I have to be super careful. You don't want to touch anything in here because everything in here is sterile. So we're gonna grab everything by the outside. I'm gonna put sanitizer on my hands. Ooh, got a cut on my finger. And I'm gonna take the glove mask in here and I'm gonna go ahead and put it on. I learned, which this may be common knowledge to everybody, blue side out. Now I'm going to throw that away. A little drape comes in here. It's a sterile drape. You want to use it only from the sides. Don't shake it, just gently pull. And only do it from the sides because you're gonna have your sterile filled in the very middle. Okay, now I'm gonna take my boat and flip everything in there. Put that to the side. I'm going to open my IV 3000. Don't touch anything in the packages. In the middle, and the bio patch you want to open as well. Don't touch it. Put it in the middle, and your sterile gloves. I'm gonna open those. On the outside, you can touch these. I'm gonna put my sterile gloves on when it comes time on the side of the camera because I can't touch my phone now that I'm sanitized. So I am gonna just, I'll make another video on how to put on sterile gloves at one point. Okay. Now I have nitrile gloves right here. I'm going to use these to take off the dressing. I'm not going to touch anything around my dressing or under my dressing. All I'm going to be touching is the dressing itself and holding my skin down to pull the dressing off. So I'm gonna start. I have a mirror in front of me, so if I am not paying attention to, if I'm not looking at the screen, I'm looking in this mirror. Now, this is still fairly new to me. This is my second time doing it all by myself, without the help of my training nurse. And this has to be changed every 6 days. I'm going to ask my pharmacy about, I think they're called stat locks, that I put in place and will sit on my skin. And this little butterfly deal will just sit right in there, because they did not suture it to my skin. They just sutured the line in. Okay. Now it's time to take these off and put my sterile gloves on so that I can touch everything. So, give me just a moment. I'm not great at editing, so please bear with me. Okay. Okay, glove one is on. Okay. All right, now my little boat that I have on the side, I'm gonna put some stuff in there that I don't need. I don't use this dressing. I have a reaction to it. There's a skin barrier in here. I don't use that. That's for someone who works outside a lot. There's some gauze. Don't need, because I use the bio patch. Here's a little ruler in here so I can measure the length of my line. I am going to keep that one to the side. This is steri strips for if you want to button down the hatch, so to speak. I use those sometimes, so I'm going to keep those to the side. And you also get some sterile gloves in here, but they kind of suck and they rip, so I don't use those. And then I have ChloraPrep swabs and alcohol swabs. I don't use these, but I keep them to the side because I could always find something to use those for. So all I should have on here for myself is my IV 3000, my bio patch, and my ChloraPrep. So I'm going to open my ChloraPrep, and there are 3 swabs in here. There's a lot of liquid in here, so I was trained to gently squeeze to get some of it off. And now I want to work around in a circle and work my way out to not contaminate the area. So with this first swab, I always do right around the area. my next swab. Go a little further out. I think I'm gonna call my pharmacy and let them know that I'm having issues with the tape. Because that's no good. I'm gonna clean up those areas a little more. Now I'm gonna take my last swab and just kind of go over everything that's already been cleaned, just to give it an extra little whoosh. I'm gonna give this a minute to dry. You don't want to wave anything on it. You don't want anything hitting it. And it's always nice to give that little area some air to breathe, which feels really nice. It is almost dry. As you can see, it's still a little shiny. We were waiting for that shininess to go away. I have a little bit of red, but I have talked to around the source itself, but they say it's normal, but I'm keeping an eye on it. Okay, it looks like we're dry. So I'm going to take my bio patch. This white part goes to the skin, and you want that circle to be pretty much on the site. And it's really hard for me to tell because of my mask. So, and then I'm going to press it and hold it on for a minute so it'll stick. Okay. So I feel confident that it's sticking and in the right spot. I'm going to take my tape. Sorry about the dogs. School is letting out and we live right down the road from a high school. Okay. I want to center it as best as I can. And I like for that thing to be under the tape. But I don't want it too far under my armpit. So we're under that. Tap, tap, tap. It is going to put that tape down. And I'm going to go there. I had a couple little issues with it, but it looks good. I'm happy with it, and if this starts coming up, which I don't think it will, I will just take some Metapore tape and tape it. So, now that it has tape on it, I can take off my gloves and my mask. This is where I lock it whenever I change my medicine. And see, this is that little fold I was telling you about. It was because whenever I put it on, it had that little bump. But that's it. And hopefully this little piece right here doesn't keep poking me, because it's been doing that and it hurts and it itches. It's still in the healing phase, so it always itches. Sorry, just itchy from all that tape. Well, that's how you change the dressing. If you learned something, let me know. If you want me to go into detail about something different, something that I did, let me know. I hope you learned something.